is Debbie Hillen, and I have the pleasure and the honor of trying to keep this group together today, and I know that's a challenge. The first thing that I want to tell you is the flag that went up the flagpole today was actually a flag. My father-in-law, who was a World War II veteran, when his daughter and son-in-law and his son deployed to Desert Storm, he put flagpoles out on his farm, and he put 3 flags up to represent their service. And when he passed away, he gave the flag to my daughter. And so the flag that is flying out there right now was in memory of my former husband's service in Desert Storm. The mayor asked, was I a veteran? And no, I'm not. I'm a daughter of a Korean War veteran. And I have a son-in-law who's a retired command sergeant major of 23 years. And then I have a son-in-law who's here with us today, Major Buford Ratchford. So while I'm not one, I have family members that are. This program, this project is about serving veterans. Those who have served us, that have come home and have come upon troubles, but needed a help in getting back on the right track. So these 34-bedroom apartments are here to serve those veterans. 2 of the veterans you saw today will be moving in here as soon as we can pass Metro codes, Mayor. Yeah.
Come on,
I'm going to count on that, Mayor. Our first speaker is Megan Berry. Megan is our first female mayor here in Nashville, and we were talking about that a little bit earlier. Her focus has been on improving educational outcomes for our public schools, engaging regional and state partners to develop a unified vision and plan for transportation, and creating more affordable housing, very similar to this project that you see here today, while continuing to grow our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Megan Berry.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. I look around this room and I look at the veterans who are going to be served, and I had the opportunity a second ago to go with Consuela to see her new home, and tears, I think, are appropriate, because this is exactly what government and the private sector can do so well together, and that is to make sure our veterans have the housing that they need and they deserve. And when someone opens up a wall and shows you their washer and dryer, and that makes their day, how can we not, as a community, step up every time to make sure that our veterans have everything they need? They have served our country. My father was a Marine. I understand service, and I understand, and I'm so thankful and grateful for what you have done. We stand here today in District 8, which is Nancy Van Reese's district, and none of this gets done without a lot of hands. MDHA, Buffalo Valley, HUD, the commissioner is also here from Veterans Affairs. Everybody has to come together. If we want to eliminate homelessness for our veterans, this is the way to do it. And I'm so thankful that all of you have stepped up and done this. And I promise my first call when I get in the car is to codes. So thank you so much.
So what you're looking for. You know, you take every chance you get with somebody in authority. Can you help? Our next speaker is a retired colonel with MDHA, Jim, I always get his name, Harbison. And Jim and his department at MDHA have been wonderful partners with us in the majority of what this project started as. It started as a dream of 26 units, and it has grown, and with each speaker I'll tell you how it's grown. Jim?
Jerry, thank you. We said 2 years ago, we tried to figure out how to do this, and there's a lot of people here that I have to thank. My staff has done wonderful things. HUD, Sonoma, thank you. Thank you, Home Loan Bank. I'm on the board there now. Thank you. Thank you, Council. I mean, there's just so many thanks here. But most of all, I want to thank my fellow veterans, especially those of you that served in ground combat. I know what you went through. I know what you've gone through to get back here. And I can't say it better than our mayor's just said it. You deserve this place. And I said when we topped it out, my only regret is we need more of this. And I pledge to you we will get more. Thanks to everyone for this wonderful day. And thanks to my fellow combat veterans, fellow veterans for their service, because that's what allows my family to have the lives they have. Thank you.
You know, those of us who work for Buffalo Valley know that we never know what's going to come from our executive director. His vision sometimes is like, what are you talking about? He is a man of vision. He's been with our company for over 27 years, and he has taken us from a small substance abuse treatment provider to one that provides housing and makes sure that when we are developing housing, that we include specific housing for our veterans. It is my pleasure to introduce my boss, Jerry Reisner.
Thank God it's Friday. For this project, it's Friday, it's 4:50. The contractors are all lined up at the gate, ready to leave, and believe me, we're ready for them to leave. We had our streets so pretty. We had worked till 12 at night. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, John, and all your staffs. Even though the contractor mudded it back up one more time, thank you for staying and getting this place ready for this event today. Thank you especially to MDHA, to Federal Home Loan Bank. All your staffs have been wonderful to work with. We have Memorial Foundation. I don't think any of them were able to come today, but they're the latest that's come on and said, we're going to help you furnish this place over the next year. So thank you to them. Home Depot, Joe, did you ever make it? Home Depot was part of this project pretty early on too, and that foundation and these others helped make all of this possible. As Debbie said, we started with 26 beds, and as we were able to add partners, we got bigger and bigger, and now we've pretty much filled a lot up. I wish we had more room. We'd take you up on building more. It's pretty personal for a lot of us. I'm a veteran. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I was on the ground. I did see people die. Many of you here had similar experiences, and for those, it is quite personal. And helping veterans is a mission that we will never give up. It's important that we all remember what veterans have done for us, and we're doing it better now than we've done it in a long time. I want to recognize one special soldier. We lost one of our board members recently. He had served 30 years in the National Guard General. He had served about 6 years in the Army, and we thought it only fitting that we recognize him today. And we have a plaque that will be put in our office. And tell them if you would come up, you and your family. The plaque says, in memory of Sergeant First Class, oh, they're going to make me talk into this thing. Sergeant First Class Danny Vestal, thank you for your service to our country and the Buffalo Valley. We honor you for touching the lives of so many. February 26, 2016. This. Thank you all. This will be placed in the office, permanently in the office, and the office from here forward will be the Sergeant First Class Danny Vestal office.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you want to hold it and give it to Bill before you leave, he will put it up. I only have one other comment, and started on it a moment ago, and the comment is this. It seems in the last 5 years, America has become so much more patriotic and so much more appreciative of what our veterans have done. In the last 5 years, I've heard thank you for your service more than I had heard the 42 years prior to that. So let's keep that tradition alive. It's a good tradition. And for all you veterans who are out here today, thank you for your service.
I had asked Mary Wilson, who is the works with the homeless programs in the state of Tennessee, to be here today, and she came down with laryngitis. And she was barely able to talk with me yesterday, but she has sent John Baldwin. So John, I will ask you to come forward, please.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for us to be here. HUD has been a partner with MDHA, with the City of Nashville, with the Veterans Affairs for many years. The challenges of providing affordable housing for the veterans is a very high priority for the Secretary. The Patriot Place housing community is an opportunity to assist these veterans who have served their country with great honor. We at HUD look forward to our continued working relationship with the city in addressing affordable housing. Once again, we thank you for your service and this opportunity. Thank you.
And the one thing that I want to mention to you with regard to that is most of the time HUD vouchers, and that's a mouthful on any given day, are attached to the veteran. So the veteran takes the voucher and goes to find affordable housing. Through MDHA and Norm, and I see Norm back there in the back, was instrumental in getting 32 of these units VAShed, where they are project-based VASH vouchers. So 32 of these units have vouchers that will help to subsidize the rent that any veteran would have to pay to live in affordable housing. You know, you heard it mentioned, I think the mayor said it, it takes a lot of agencies, public and private, to come together, to put funding together for such a project as this. This is a $2.8 million project for the bricks and the sticks. And our next speaker, Todd Berry, was Federal Home Loan Bank of Cincinnati, played a major role in that financial support. Todd?
Thank you. Debbie, thank you very much. I am here today to do several things. First, I'd like to echo Jerry's remarks about thanking all the folks here that have served in the military. Thank you for your service. Second, I would like to deliver some congratulations and some thank yous. Congratulations to Buffalo Valley. This project is absolutely amazing. I was not able to be here in May, the last time that I think things were happening out here. But when I drove in, I just really couldn't believe it. So congratulations on a wonderful project. thank you to you also for utilizing our funding. We also want to thank People's Bank of Clifton, the member that this funding came to Buffalo Valley through. I can tell you, getting to attend a lot of these types of functions and make these kinds of presentations, it is not normal for a bank their size to be involved in a project like this. So I think we should recognize their contribution and the commitment that they made, not only to their own community in Clifton, but to the community here, to improving things for veterans. I also want to take a moment. This is part of our affordable housing project. This grant, about little over $426,000 from our affordable housing project. In addition to his MDHA role, Jim Harbison serves on our bank's advisory council that administers and advises our board about the program and about the distribution of the funding. So, Jim, thank you very much for your service to the bank and for your service to the community through the bank. The Federal Home Loan Bank system itself, 11 banks that are wholesale banks. We really are we are a bank for banks. We exist thanks to Congress. So we also would like to thank Congressman Cooper and Senators Corker and Alexander for their continued support of the housing mission of the Federal Home Loan Bank. Again, thank you all for having me today. Congratulations on a fantastic project, and thank you for your service to our country.
Todd mentioned the Bank of Clifton, and how many of you know what Clifton is? It's a little bitty small town, okay? But we have had a great partner. See here? Are you back there? Mr. Gobble? Would you come here for a moment, please? He snuck in. This is Audrey Gobble, and he is with the Clifton Bank that Todd referenced. Would you like to say a few words, sir?
You talk about getting caught off guard, man. I'm telling you. I want to thank Jerry. We've been working with him in Buffalo Valley for several years, and it's been a great relationship with him, and also with the Federal Home Loan Bank. We've been working with them, and it's such a pleasure to see projects like this come together, and we're so glad to be a part of it. Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you for that.
Is there anyone here from the Home Depot Foundation that slid in and I didn't find you? Again, I want to recognize that they, through a project that supports veterans through their foundation, they also contributed $100,000 to this project. And Mr. Reisner referenced the fact that as of yesterday, we got notice from the Memorial Foundation for $30,000 to help us to complete the furnishings for this apartment. My next speaker is Brigadier General Tommy Baker. He assists the Adjutant General with the responsibilities for the training and supervision of 13,000 soldiers and airmen in the Tennessee National Guard. I could give you a long list of his credentials and his awards, but I want to give a special acknowledgement to him. He has his hands full, okay? He has one soldier that works under him that he actually pinned when he became a captain. And the day that the general was pinned himself, he changed out of his dress blues, he hopped in his vehicle, and he drove to Humboldt. That's no short drive, folks. To pin the same gentleman to the rank of major. And that gentleman is my son-in-law, Major Buford Ratchford, who is here with us today. But General Baker also served as his commander when they were both their last tours in Iraq. So we have to keep him safe and to bring him home to us, General Baker.
Well, Major Radford, I know who to call if I need anybody to help me out with you now. Buffalo Valley, Mr. Reisner, Miss Helen, everybody here, all the private sector partners, all the governmental partners that helped make this a possibility. there's not enough words can be expressed today on the behalf of the Tennessee Military Department of how grateful we are to see this. I think a lot of people out there in society, I know both of our deployments, they line the streets with waving flags, both upon our departure and our return. And I think sometimes after the war drums stop beating and we go back into regular life, a lot of our veterans, they become a forgotten commodity. You know, they represent about 12% of our homeless population across the country. A lot of them have trouble transitioning back to life. A lot of times their family life has changed while they're gone. And so they face a lot of challenges that other parts of society maybe don't have to you know, step up to. And that's a real concern for us. And Buffalo Valley is doing one of the things that makes us really proud, because after all of that is settled down, you're stepping up and taking care of them for the rest of that part of their life. We have around 22 million veterans nationwide right now. So organizations like yours is what we're going to depend upon in the future to help make sure that those folks are taken care of. And so again, on behalf of the Adjutant General, Major General Max Haston, and the Tennessee Military Department, we want to just say thank you for what you're doing, and continue to support our veterans. Thank you.
My next introduction. This has become a tradition with us. The next speaker is Commissioner Minnie Bears Grinder, who is a retired colonel. In 2011, Governor appointed her to be commissioner, the first female for that position. But in doing so, she had to retire. First time I ever met her, my son-in-law, who I've referenced here today, calls me and he says, "I know something you don't know." And I says, "Okay, Smarty, what do you know that I don't know?" He says, "I know who the new commissioner is going to be." And I says, "Okay." So he told me. So I made my appointment. I did my formal introduction. And then I handed her a picture. At that time, RJ, my oldest little grandson, was like 2 weeks old in this picture, and I handed it to her. She looks at it and she says, "I know this kid." She says, "That's Buford's son." So every time the commissioner has been gracious with her time with us, I always present her a new picture. So, Commissioner, I have an updated picture for you.
You better.
I
do. Future veterans, there's no doubt. Well, on behalf of Governor Haslam and the entire Tennessee Department of Veteran Services, good morning and welcome everybody to this absolutely wonderful event. It wasn't that long ago when we were here in May for the groundbreaking, and Debbie has honored me with inviting me to all these events with all the different housing opportunities for veterans. And, you know, I have the best job, I've told the governor in state government. I have the privilege of serving over 500,000 veterans in the state of Tennessee. But it's more than a job. It's really become a passion for me. You know, only 1% of the population right now is serving in the military. And not everyone can serve. Really, not everyone should serve in the military. But we can make sure that that other 99% supports those who are currently serving and those who have served. Whatever it takes. We owe everything that is good in this country to our veterans. So when some of them come back and may come upon hard times or have a hard time transitioning back, why wouldn't we give them a hand up? Not a handout, but a hand up. And there's something about this housing. I talked to Consuelo earlier and asked her, you know, what is this housing going to do for you? And she shared with me that this is going to open the door for her new life. It's more than a roof. It's more than the security that your own housing gives you. It gives you self-esteem, it gives you self-confidence so that you can go on and succeed at your next chapter. Because our veterans have so much to offer. They've already served their countries, but we know that they can all be successful, contributing citizens to our country in their new life. So with that 99%, I cannot think of a better example of the federal government, the state government, the local community, nonprofit organizations, and corporations coming together and uniting for that 1%. God bless you. Thank you very much.
I sent the next speaker an email the other day and I says I need a bio. And then I thought, no, I don't need a bio for him. It's Assistant Commissioner Rod Bragg. I've had the pleasure of working with Rod before he became Assistant Commissioner. Actually, he and I used to have conversations and talked about our bosses. Rod works for the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, and he specifically focuses on the substance abuse co-occurring side. I'm going to give you an example of how the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services works. Last Friday, I was meeting with the applicants to move into this complex. And one of the guys told me, he says, I got an alcohol problem. I got a drug problem. Can you help me? I said, sure. Not a problem. I picked up the trusty phone. I made a call. His VASH social worker was standing there with us. She says, whenever you get a bed, I can take him in. We had a bed Monday morning, and he got taken to Hohenwald to get the services. He happened to be one of the veterans who didn't have benefits. And that's where the department has been so gracious in allowing us to use federal block grant dollars and state dollars to serve our veterans. Rod Bragg, thank you, and welcome Rod Bragg.
Thank you. That's much better bio than what I sent you. I appreciate that. It isn't.
It up.
You did. Yeah, you never know what Debbie's going to say. And many of you probably know that. What a pleasure and what a glorious day this is. I couldn't ask for the opportunity to be any place better today than to be here at Patriot Place. Thank you, Buffalo Valley, for your willingness to step outside your box. And matter of fact, they don't even have a box. You see the needs in the community and you address those needs in any way that you can. So thank you so much. And really a special, huge thank you to all the veterans who are here today and who have served our country in such a meaningful way to make freedom possible for each of us in this room. So it is a pleasure to be here, and anything that the department can do, we are more than willing to do. So thank you.
I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that our Commissioner, Doug Varney, is also a veteran and supports all the efforts that goes into making sure services are available to the veterans. Our last speaker is, where did she, oh, there she is, Suzanne Janae. She is the new interim health system director for the Tennessee Valley Healthcare System. Suzanne?
Good morning, and what an honor to be here and to be a part of this program. Tennessee Valley, as you know, is an integral partner with Buffalo Valley and MDHA, and this is our first ever project-based, let me get this right without tongue twisting, HUD VA supportive housing program opening today in Tennessee. We are honored. We are the first in our VISN and one of the first in the Southeast to implement a project-based HUD voucher program in conjunction with this partnership. This housing, as you know, is brand new. I got the honor to go into Consuela's apartment, and I just want to live there because it is just so beautiful. And it is a milestone, not only for Tennessee Valley and our partners, but for Tennessee and the veterans. So thank you. Our health care for our homeless veteran team has been working closely with the community partners to get to this point, as you've already heard. Our team has identified 32 of the city's most vulnerable, chronic, and at-risk homeless veterans to be the first group of residents in this housing community. We will have a full-time case manager co-located on site, which is just going to be a phenomenal opportunity for everyone that's living here, and they will help transition the veterans into their permanent housing. As we've heard, I'm not going to continue on. You've heard a lot of speeches, but I do want to say that no veteran should be without a place to call home. This is home. This is a great opportunity, and I just want to say thank you again for letting us to be a part of it as Tennessee Valley, and to be able to say thank you to my staff to work so hard to get these veterans the homes that they need. Thank you.
We have many special and distinguished members here today, and I'm not going to attempt to name all of them because I would unfortunately leave out some, but our thanks goes out to each and every one of you. But there is one special group that I do need to take the moment to acknowledge, and I would like to ask the Elks Lodge members if you would come forward, please. As they're coming forward, I want to tell you why they're coming forward. The Elks Lodge is next door to us here. And back early in this construction period, I got asked to come, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't know, I've never been. And so I went and I met with them. They wanted to know what was going on, what were we doing, and what was this project about. So with that, I told them what the project was, and I cannot tell you that a better partner than we have had than the Elks Lodge number 2473. The couches, the love seats, the bed frames, the box springs and mattresses that you currently see in these apartments were donated by this Elks Lodge. In addition to this, when all veterans have moved in, they have additionally, or will be, supplying all 34 bathrooms with the supplies that they need, along with some kitchen items, wash rags, dish rags, a whole smorgasbord of other things that they have stepped up to the plate to do. And I'm not sure who, but since I started with Michelle, I'm going to ask Michelle to come forward. In grateful appreciation, Elks Lodge number 2473, for your generosity, contributions in helping Patriot Place Madison, Buffalo Valley Incorporated, you've touched the lives of those that have served our military. February the 26th, 2016. Oh, she says go back. You know. Did you get it?
The Elks, one thing that we want to say is that as long as they're veterans, we will always be there to support them. That is our motto. As soon as we did find out and we talked with Debbie, it was almost a year ago, was it? We stepped up right then and there and we started seeing who we could contact to help out and that type of stuff. I want to thank George. He's a Marine. I'm a vet too. I'm from the Army. And all these other Elks up here, they all stepped forward and they all decided that, hey, we're going to take care of these. We didn't stop here. When all these people move in, if we have a function, we're going to come over and we're going to ask them if they would like to join us. So we're not going to stop just by donating. Thank you.
Thank you. I would be remiss if I did not recognize Richland Construction Company and Roger Owens Construction Company. David Adams Construction Company was also involved in this. But I have to give a big shout out. You heard Mr. Reisner mention the long hours. We had members of Buffalo Valley staff here last night till late in the night, trying to make sure everything was where it needed to be. So to the Buffalo Valley Case Management staff, the audit department, the IT department, and the maintenance staff, I cannot tell you thank you enough for all that you did for this week and trying to make sure this was a good day. One other thing that I want to do is I'm going to ask, before we invite you to tour the apartments here, and refreshments are in the office area, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for those who are currently serving, for those who have fallen. If you will join me in a moment of silence, please. Again, thank you for coming, taking the time out of your day to join us for this wonderful celebration. Thank you.